Hello, my name is Harrison Smith.
Hi, my name is Itanu Kadri.
Hi, my name is Jessica Chavez.
Hi, my name is Keon Scott.
And the film that we chose for our project was The Sinners. You want to read the summary?
Sure. So the summary of the movie Sinners by Ryan Coogler was: the film follows twin brothers Smoke and Stack Moore, who return to their hometown in Mississippi after serving in World War I and working for the Chicago outfit. Armed with stolen money, they aim to open a juke joint to serve the local black community despite their oppressive Jim Crow laws of the time. They recruit their cousin Sammy, a talented guitarist, along with other local talents, including the pianist Delta Slim and Smoke's estranged wife Annie. As they prepare for the opening of their juke joint, they face various challenges, including the haunting legacy of racism embodied by the local landowner Hogwood and the supernatural threat posed by an Irish vampire named Remick. The brothers' efforts to create a safe space for their community are complicated by their past and their societal pressures surrounding them.
And the question we came up with was, when, if ever, is it justified to break the rules for a greater good? And how does the film ask us to judge those who do so, considering their motives, the consequences of their actions, the story's point of view, and the social context?
In the scene where Slim is riding with Stack and Sammy and he passes the prisoners, he realizes that he knows the prisoners from a recent prior incident where they were wrongly accused, and to Slim it hit him because seeing them wrongly accused and he couldn't do nothing about it even though he wanted to. You could tell that he wanted to by the way he stood up and the way that he had left the statement, keep your head up. And that's the only thing he could do, because during that time the social context was just stacked against them. So basically doing anything out of the norm or breaking any type of rules wouldn't been justified, because it would have put them in a more greater dilemma. So that's why he just left his words.
For me, we go back on this one scene in the movie where one of the brothers, Stack, had turned into a vampire, and his brother Smoke was in a situation where he had to either kill his brother. He was just in a difficult situation where in this case the rule that we know would be to kill a vampire, because it's a vampire. And so Smoke is in that situation where he has to kill his own brother even though he's a vampire. So I would say that breaking the rules there would be justified because he's protecting his brother, something that's truly important to him. And he breaks this rule because of his love that he has for his brother, the loyalty that he has for him, also because that's his twin brother, and twins tend to have a deeper connection with each other. So I think if he were to decide to kill his brother, that would also destroy him, him as himself. So I think in that case, Smoke did the right decision and letting his brother go. It could have, yes, I feel like it could have harmed others around him, but that's something that he would have had to live with. If he did kill his brother, that's something that he would have had to live with in himself, and that's something that's just not, it's just hard to go through. So, and we could, the way we could judge his choices and his motives, because so when Smoke also decides to keep his brother or spare his brother, he doesn't really do it out of weakness or sympathy for him. He puts it with conditions, and he puts it with boundaries, demanding his brother that if he lets him go, he has to stay away from his little cousin, cousin Sammy. So he'll let them live as vampires, but he has to stay away from his cousin Sammy and let him grow old and do everything that he wanted to achieve in his life. So I think Smoke also does a good choice by having like mercy for his family besides just his brother. He keeps in mind that he's also gonna like do good for Sammy.
I definitely agree with you when you say that Smoke killing Stack would have been like something that would have like made Smoke lose himself completely, because he says it like the best part about me was him, and Stack says it too, the best part about me was him. Like they needed each other, for everything. They did everything together. They went through their trauma together, their pain together. They shared each other's experiences. So I feel like them being connected so much to that, like, you know, being so emotionally connected and in tune with each other, like him killing his brother would
And
definitely
then it's
would have
like
killed him in a
happening
way.
so like quickly.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
There's
like,
so much going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And
like how could you adjust to that so quickly? You have to make that
You
decision.
even saw
right
that earlier in the movie when I forget which one it was. One of them left and the other had Sammy,
now. Oh yeah.
and it's like the other brother was like, "Hey, watch this guy's back."
Because
Yeah.
he can't watch his back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had also put in one of my answers that Smoke, like he's already kind of going through so much because of just the racism in the time specifically, and so he's also kind of become this cold person as well,
Yeah.
just because there's, like he said, there's so much going on in the film, like in that specific scene, you know, the vampires are like attacking them and whatnot, and there's so much going on around him.
Like
Yeah.
in my sense, I feel like Smoke. He's, even though they're like twins or whatever, he's like the older brother. Like he really is the
In a
one that
way.
has his like head on
His
his
mind
shoulders.
on,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
If it wasn't for him, it probably wouldn't be half the things going on, because it's like clearly like his brother or cousin, whatever it is, literally likes to lollygag and is a liability just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. He's the one who really like. I guess he's really like you said, he has to put his head on his shoulders. Like he's the one who really leads them, even though like, you know, Stack plays a big part in like, you know, their relationship dynamic and like, you know, business affiliations as well. Like Smoke is the one who's really just, I feel like he's just more, I don't know, he has more endurance, especially since he was also the one who had to kill their father as well.
Oh,
I feel like
yeah.
that also was a big part that made him the way
What
he
he
was
said,
as
he was
well.
like he was getting beat up or something.
Yeah, he saw his brother getting beat up, and he had to step in and, you know, kill him before he killed his twin brother. So, you know,
And that's like another one right there. Like he had to do what he had to do for the greater good.
exactly.
You know, it probably wouldn't be no Smoke and Stack if it wasn't for that incident.
Exactly.
So,
And it isn't easy, like killing your parent. It isn't easy, but
that's something you gotta live with for the rest of your life too. So,
yeah.
and that also adds on to the burden of if he had to kill his brother. Like, dang, I just killed my dad. Now I gotta kill my twin brother too. That would have
Yeah.
like destroyed him completely. So,
pretty much.
yeah.
Pretty much.
Definitely agree. I feel like, you know, to jump back onto the question of when it comes down to breaking the rules for the greater good, I think that is justified when it comes down to it being a last resort and as like, you know, a righteous act of like defiance, like, and that leads on to the scene of Smoke and Annie. And before they face the vampires and they have like, you know, the grand beat down, like, you know, they basically talk about how Annie's basically telling Smoke that, hey, like, if worse was to come and like, you know, they end up biting me, like take me out before I turn, or like, you know, put the stake in my heart before I turn, because she doesn't want to have to live with the fact that she's on, you know, on Earth with all this hate and hatred and being with the vampires. She knows she can never truly be free because they also had a baby that died, and her not being able to join with her baby, like, you know, in the afterworld with the ancestors, I feel like that would have been like more pain than being a vampire could ever be, because that's something that really, like, you know, that was really big, and that had like a lot of significance to both Smoke and Annie and their relationship. And yeah, and then she also, like, that will also mean that, like, you know, if, you know, she wouldn't be able to be united with Smoke as well. Like, I feel like if
She was still.
they would never be together.
And then she would have had to live with that eternity.
Exactly.
Like never being able to see their kid,
Their
or
child.
their child and stuff like
It
that.
was really, she made it good for everybody in a way. The baby herself, and smoke. If you
Exactly.
think about it, like making that decision, you get to come back together one day.
Yeah.
You know, versus like she been out there having to stay alive for all those years or whatever, just like Rumor. So it would have been kind of different.
It would have for sure.
And I think Annie was also actually like a huge symbolism in that part, because there is also this other scene where they're trying to the group that is now vampires, they're trying to convince the other ones, like, hey, like if y'all turn to vampires, like, you know, like we can do everything we wanted to do together for like forever. And when she was like, no, like if I turn into a vampire, kill me, it just goes to show how strong she was on what she wanted, and it was for her to like die as a human and stuff like that, so she doesn't have to live with that. Also kind of showing that like just she didn't want to be a vampire because like being a vampire was just bad, like it didn't make sense in her head, and she like stuck with it. She was like, no, kill me if I turn. So that's why I think she's also a great symbolism
for sure
in that part.
And I can
She was
understand
great.
that,
And they was most definitely mad when she died.
And she got, that's what I'm saying, when they
Did
killed
not
her,
want that to happen.
the ones that wanted, like they were really the vampires, they were
Yeah.
really sad
They're
that
very
they
sad about
that they killed her, but she was like, no.
And she knew what she wanted for herself too. Like I feel like she didn't want somebody dictating how her life wanted to go, because the vampires didn't give them no choice. They were like, "Hey, you gotta come with us," or like, you know, "You gotta come with us." Like, there's really no other, you know, choice or ultimatum to that. And she was like, "No, like I'm gonna choose how I want my life to end. And
She
this is how I
was,
want it
if
to
you-
end." So
Like when you say that, like Annie been like a big symbol for the
since
greater
the
good.
beginning, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
think about it, like if it wasn't for Annie, nobody would know how to.
Even go about the
Yeah.
situation.
Right.
Exactly.
Like she was the one who like actually knew what the vampires were and like how
Exactly.
to actually deal with them in a
Exactly.
sort of way.
Exactly.
So, like,
Even when they were like trying to get inside, and I think his name was like Cornbread or something like that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
And then
she knew
they
off
were
the
trying
rip.
to.
Yeah.
She knew something was up immediately. She's like, hey, you know, you've been coming in here all day, no issues.
Exactly. Why
You've
can't you
been-
just come in now?
You've been on guard here for a while. Why
Yeah.
can't you just come inside?
Yeah.
And I feel like that adds on to like Smoke too. Like in a way, like she kept him grounded. In a way, like she was low key her, like, you know, like her. I feel like her being so spiritually in tune, she kind of could already see what was gonna happen before it happened, and that's one of the reasons why she gave him the mojo bag
Yeah.
too. Because if you see when Stack was trying to bite Smoke, like it was kind of showing like a blur, kind of symbolizing that like he can't die, like he literally cannot die. That mojo bag that Annie gave him added that resistance to it, and it's like she knew in a way, like, you know, she didn't know that was gonna happen at that moment, but she knew like, okay, like for future references, if something was to happen and you did have like, you know, a life-threatening situation, like this would keep you protected, this would keep you grounded. So it's like she kind of already, like, you know, was able to protect them from what he didn't know about, and even what she didn't know about either, but she just knew, she had that instinct. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely agree. What you guys think?
The scene that really stood out to me was part of what I answered before. It was the scene when the vampires were trying to be invited in a way to come into the joint. So the way I looked at it was there are multiple ways of looking at what the greater good would be. So for example, say they let the vampires come in and just they turn everybody into vampires. The way that Renrick wanted to kind of build a family and just make everything more accepted. So the way Renrick looked at it was with the blues music, he basically wanted the driving force behind that. So I don't know a good way to put that. I guess he basically wanted to give himself a family again.
For sure. Yeah.
And then basically, like what was said before, he's like, you don't have a choice. You're basically coming with me or you're not. So the two ways of looking at the greater good in that situation would be they either let the vampires in and they turn and they gain that more acceptable situation, or they don't let them in and they kind of keep keep their current situation.
But even if they didn't let them in, I feel like they would have still went out and continued terrorizing people.
Yeah.
Like, remember when Lisa, the daughter of Bo Chow, and
Oh, yeah,
I forgot what
yeah.
his wife's name was, but it was basically saying that, okay, like, even if you don't want to let us in, we're still going to go out and gather more people
Right.
to bring with us and have even more of a stronger
Mhm.
army to, come back and take you guys with us as well. So,
Right,
like, they were still
basically.
going to keep doing what they wanted to do regardless
Yeah,
of the situation.
basically
So,
basically forcing them to come with them, or they would be back later with more people.
exactly.
Yeah, because it was either like you join us or we go get your loved ones to
Yeah,
join us,
exactly.
and then you would join us.
Exactly.
So it was either you join us or you join us.
Another question that we had for the movie was, how does symbolism of a key character, item, or place in the film create a moral dilemma for the audience that forces them to consider what is morally right or wrong?
So I guess the object place that I would pick that was like a symbolism in this film would be the juke joint itself, because, well, for one, when they get this juke joint to was it like make it like kind of like a black only club, like just space for them, just because they're already not very inclusive, right? So this juke joint is made purely just to like have fun, enjoy yourself, and then eventually it takes a wrong turn.
Yeah.
So it kind of puts you in that place where it's like, should it have been built in the first place or not? Because also they purchased the juke joint from, I forgot the name of the.
It was a
Actually, was it
Hogwood. Yeah.
They
It was a
purchased.
KKK member, right?
It was a
So, like, they had
KKK
the
member.
KKK come in.
Yeah, and so really at the end of if either way they kind of would have died. It's just kind of one of those things where they were gonna die through vampire. Yep.
Yeah.
And they were gonna die from the vampires, or they were gonna get killed by the KKK. So it just kind of puts you in that position where it's like, was the juke joint even supposed, like, should it have been built in the first place to begin with? Because I think it's good to have fun and all. But I mean, you can't also really blame them. They didn't really know.
Yeah,
what
danger
their
was afoot from the
fate was gonna
beginning, really. 'Cause that,
But in a way, like, they were doing business with the KKK. Let's just be real. So that can go left or right. So they
Yeah.
can tell you one thing and be something different. So yeah, they didn't know about the vampires, but yeah, they were doing like dirty business.
But yeah, that is true.
So it's like,
But I feel like that also goes to show, like, with the snake and stuff in the beginning, like when they were trying to get the weapons and stuff, because those weapons, they were to protect themselves from, like, whoever was to step foot on their property, because they said, like, oh, like, if any of your boys step foot on this property, we're going to kill you where you stand. I feel like the snake, it kind of low-key symbolizes both situations, like, okay, like, like as a warning, like, okay, like, they were gonna end up coming. It's either that they were either gonna end up coming or like the vampires were gonna come in. But it was a warning for like everything, that like when y'all getting yourselves into this juke joint in general, you're already putting yourselves in like a very, very, very deep hole that you won't be able to dig yourself out of. So like, regardless of if the KKK came and they end up shooting all of them, or regardless of if the vampires came, that snake was to symbolize that something is coming, and like y'all shouldn't be going through it with this at all, like at all. So
that's how I feel, kinda a little bit, just a little bit with the beer, because it's like, if it wasn't for like that beer, they wouldn't have had Slim, because Slim was so focused on working for those other people that gave him consistent money. But like, you'll find out later on down the line that Slim was a big factor in like helping Smoke deal with the vampires as well as, and so if it wasn't for that, I don't know, because you look at alcohol, like, no, they don't need it, because you can tell in the movie they were throwing their life away on it. Slim, Slim threw his life away because whatever incident happened, but just having that brought Slim, and he was a factor that was needed.
And they actually used it. They used it to light up the place.
They did.
They used it to light
I
up
forgot
the
about
place.
that. That's crazy. They definitely did
Yeah,
use that.
so
Yeah.
it's like little bits of it that you don't put much attention to, but it plays a huge role in this film.
It definitely does.
Because yeah, that's what they used to light up the whole place. They used it to recruit someone. They used it to light up the place to try and kill off the vampires. But yeah, what other?
I think back to the juke joint. I think it kind of symbolizes a couple of different things. Like, it symbolizes like a place where they can play their music, kind of be accepted.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like there was a point in the movie where one of the twins realized they weren't making enough money from the joint, and then they basically, it was like another character basically went, hey, you know, I think we're just trying to generate business right now, and to kind of just let the profit slide for a while. And I don't think they were in a position to let that slide at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when one of the twins were like, "Oh, we're not gonna make a profit if we're letting, like, was it their liquor or something?" Yeah, because there was a little scene where they sold like a shot to someone for nothing. Yeah. And so then they're like, we can't just let people come in and just like not pay for drinks or stuff like that because we're not gonna make a profit. But then the other twin goes to say, he's like, maybe it's just not about making a profit tonight. Like we're here to have a good time. A good time. So that is also a good symbolism because, they're again segregation and all of that's going on right now. So all they're looking for is to just feel accepted in a place.
Just be free for
Feel
one night.
feel free for one
That
night.
goes back to what Remy was saying.
Oh yeah.
Fellowship and love, you know, that's all they wanted, you know. Because that was the purpose of the juke house. It was for fellowship, community to come on in, you know, and have a good time. Yeah, they wanted a profit, but it was just to bring everybody together. Because you notice, like, they've been gone for a while. As soon as they come back, like, the whole town, it's like, oh, Stack Smoke, and everybody excited. So it's just like a way for them to get together, you know. Yeah, make money, but build that relationship. The same thing, pretty much what the movie's about. Build that relationship, that fellowship, you know. That's what Remick wanted. That's what they wanted as well.
For sure.
Right.
And that kind of like goes into my question, because my question was also like based off of like Remick and stuff like that. He really just wanted to create a family of his own, considering that he also had his family stripped away from him as well. Like he also had like, you know, a lot of things that meant a lot to him, like taken away from him. So like I could see why he wanted such a strong community, because, you know, like even in the movie, like it shows how like, oh, like how music was it has such a big impact on Black culture and the Black community, and how it involves different different types of spirits from like both the past, the future, and the present. And that being something so strong like that, I understand why Remick wanted to, like, you know, I understand why he wanted something like that, because he never had a chance at something like that. He was never able to experience something like that, which also goes to show like how some people would think like, oh, like, you know, Remick wasn't really wrong for what he did, because it's like he just wanted his own family. But then like I feel like it also has this conflict, because it's like you doing that also came with the expense of other people's families. You stripped, like Lisa, she got both of her parents killed. That girl's probably wandering around somewhere trying to figure out, oh, where are my parents at? And they're literally dead. Like, so you're causing pain to other people. You caused pain to Smoke. He almost had to kill his brother. I mean, even being in a situation like that in general, the pressure of that situation, the, you know, intensity of that situation is already like enough to really like question if life is really worth living anymore. He had to kill the love of his life. That also adds on to it. You know, so much pain came with that. Like, you know, I have to like it's just like I don't know, it really is like a really big dilemma, because like some people would be like, yeah, like, you know, like Remick, like, you know, he just wanted his own family, which is very sad. Like, you know, like, you know, if you were stripped away from your family and your culture and everything that you ever knew, and then you had to start from the bottom and build your own, I could get that. But you also took other people from their family, so it's like the pain that was inflicted on you, you're causing it to other people as well. You're putting it onto other people as well, and it's causing the same cycle over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was just wrong the way he went with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it was never a choice for people to become vampires. He just made them into vampires.
Exactly.
And it's like Remick had his reasons for wanting a family, which, I mean, everyone should feel like it's okay to have family. It's just the way he went about it and how he didn't give him a choice.
I'm just sitting here thinking. I know it's kind of off topic, but it's just like if you really start to think about that movie, like every how do I say this relation of fellowship, like anyway, was conflicted. Like it was crazy. What I'm thinking, like basically relationship between like love, whether it's for your significant other or your community, and money. Because I'm thinking about how Stack told Smoke to wait till tomorrow. If he would have waited till tomorrow, Happiness probably wouldn't happen.
Oh, you mean for to open the juke joint?
Yes.
Yeah, okay,
Like,
okay,
half
they say
of
that.
it probably would have never happened.
Right.
You know, Sammy, his relationship with his father, you know, fellowship. That's what church is all about.
Right.
That's big in church. That's what his father really wanted to implement in Sammy's life. But it conflicted with Sammy's life. What is on? He loved music. So he had to go. So it's like that fellowship broke. You know, Remrix, it's not his fault that he a vampire. He want fellowship still, but the way he went about it is wrong. You know, I can't even think of the Caucasian lady. What's her name?
Mary?
The girlfriend?
Yeah, Mary.
You know, she wanted a relationship with Smoke, right?
Stack.
Stack. But honestly, it could never work.
It could never work
Mhm.
out.
You know,
yeah.
Like everything that was like this was really
Came
like
with a
this.
conflict. Every action that was taken, it came with
Like
it came with conflict. It literally came with a very big choice that needed to be made. Whether it was a small choice, whether it was a big choice, like everything came with like, okay, if I did this, something's gonna happen. If I did this, something's gonna happen. So it's like it was a lose-lose, like from the very jump, like genuinely, like
should they just stay in Chicago?
that's a good question, honestly.
Right.
Should
Yeah,
they
that's
just
actually a
stay
really
in
good
Chicago,
question.
like-
Well, it's complicated because the brothers kind of always looked for like freedom.
That's true.
That's what they always looked for, and that's what they ever wanted.
And they did say that Chicago was like no different. It just
No
had
different.
big cities and
Yeah,
stuff
because
like that.
they're we're in the
But no vampires though.
Vampires can come from anywhere though.
So my question would be, because they stole money from Chicago and that's why they came back, right?
Yeah, it was illegal money, right? Was it?
Yeah.
I
So
thought they did it
that
for
illegal
Chicago, whatever.
money, does that illegal money still happen if they stay in Chicago and they keep it like centralized in Chicago, or?
So I think that they were what is I don't know the term. They're kind of like mafia in Chicago. I forgot the term that they use here, but they're basically they're playing dirty in Chicago. That's how they make money, and that's how they had money to buy the juke joint and all the weapons they had and everything. So that's why I say even when you're in and if you were like working for like the mafia or whatnot, you still don't feel free because you're working for somebody. You constantly
we're
have
under
that pressure.
Oh,
Of
Al
if you do something.
Capone. He said, "Hey, I thought you was doing work for Capone."
He did say that, yeah. Okay,
That's
yeah.
why. It's just like that's why again, if they were to have stayed in Chicago, they might have lived, but they still wouldn't have felt free.
Yeah, and they're still
So-
working for under somebody.
Yeah, they're
which
still
is,
working under
you know,
somebody.
Considering the time, it was probably under. So
Yeah.
We can kind of loop back then with like Renwick then, because like you said, they would be free on quote, but not be free because they would be under somebody. They would
Yeah.
still, if they became vampires and joined Renwick's family, they would still be under Renwick. So they wouldn't
Yeah.
really be free then either.
Yeah, that's why they were just kind of trying to do their own thing, but
for sure.
unfortunately they got one of the brothers. But yeah, no, it definitely has so much. Didn't have a room.
How do y'all feel about the relationship dynamics between Stack and Mary and Smoke and Annie? Like, how do y'all like compare and contrast those two relationships?
With Stack and Annie, it was more of like a lovers kind of relationship. And like back to what he said, where it's like it just wouldn't work out, especially in those times. It's just it wasn't common. What was that called? Like interracial, have like interracial relationships.
For Stack and Annie?
Yeah, no. For
Wait.
it's Stack and Mary. Stack and Mary.
Stack
Sorry.
and Mary. Yeah.
For Stack and Mary. That's why I say it was more of like a lovers kind of relationship.
Like
They
a forbidden
didn't,
love.
yeah, they didn't really know what they wanted. As for Annie and Smoke, like they had a kid together, you
Yeah.
know. So it's like they were definitely at a deeper connection,
Mhm.
and you can tell like it was like more like genuine love there. Just
And
like-
love was way more tangible.
Yeah,
definitely
with the
was.
little mojo.
The mojo bag.
mojo
Yeah.
bag,
It really
she's
very
like-
deeply.
She was still looking out for him, stuff like that, like stuff that like a partner would do for you.
It's so crazy. Like, I'm just thinking, like, Mary and Stack, they live forever with the bullcrap. And Smoke and Annie, to death do you part. Like, pretty much.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like, you get what I'm
But they
saying?
both ended up together though, when you really think about it.
That is
like,
true.
So
Maybe
it's
not in
like
the way they
six
wanted
years.
to, but like they still got what they wanted at the very end, which was to be together.
To be
So,
together for sure.
Both of them end up together. if you
They
think about
did,
it.
yeah. they
but
did.
if you think about it like this, where with Stack and Mary, it's kind of like they don't have. Let's say that they weren't lovers. Let's say they were both strangers to each other. Their connection never happened in the film. Them as vampires, it's hard to even try and look for a partner again because you can't be with a human and not expect to like eventually try and turn them or even eat. I don't know what vampires do. Like that's why I felt like when they both turned into vampires, they're like, well, we have each other. Like that's it.
That's
It's
all
kind
they
of,
needed.
and
yeah.
that's kind of what that's also how I feel like their relationship was driven, just because it's like, damn, it's just me and you. Like we're both vampires. Like it's not like we can just go out looking for somebody else.
Mhm.
Like we're just kind of in this together. Like we were
But
both
she go
turned
get
at the
another
same time.
vampire.
And that's probably the reason why Mary went after him to begin with, because it was like, okay, she was the first one to turn into a vampire, and like Mary knew that, hey, like I've already lost my mother, you know, I don't really have my dad either. The only thing that I really want left is, you know, my man, like you know, and that's exactly why she went right ahead to go and turn, you know,
Yeah.
Stack into a vampire, because it's like, okay, like at least that I know that this way we can be together forever, even if it's not. Oh, I just thought of something. And like that also, oh my gosh, whoa. Okay, so that also kind of ties into how they weren't allowed to be publicly seen in, you know, the human world, you know, as an interracial couple. It's the same thing with them being vampires. They can't be seen out in the light. They can only be hidden in the dark. Like the whole
Yeah.
time their relationship has to be concealed. They have to
Yeah.
be concealed all the time. It can never be something that they can bring out for everybody to see.
Yeah,
So-
and that's why I say they had that, like they just had that connection. It's like even though he denied her like a few times, like, oh yeah, like we're just not, like it was a one-time thing.
He was
Like
just
he
doing
constantly
that.
denied
there.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like they just had that connection. It was just kind of like, it's just you're for me, she's for you. Like
Mhm.
that's just kind of how it was.
For sure.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, for Annie and for Smoke, it was a lot deeper than that.
It
I think it was a lot
was.
deeper than that.
It was just so. I feel like one was more like love, and then the other was kind of like more of a desire or like a
Yeah.
lust in a way. Yeah.
Like a
Mhm.
listed-
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cause it was most definitely spiritual. Let's be
It
fair.
definitely was spiritual. Yeah.
So she could have put the voodoo on her face.
Hey, like.
No, yeah, but no, I think it was more driven off love mainly, especially because I think also that act of her saying like just like kill me when if she was to turn to a vampire, to just like kill her off to go be with her kid, like that's also like an act of love, because no way was she like never in that film was she ever selfish, and because she could have turned into a vampire and she could have run off with other people, but she decided not to, just because she kind of had like her priorities straight. It's like, no, like I have a kid waiting for me in heaven and stuff like that. So it was just,
And I feel like with Smoke killing her, like that's also an act of love because it's like he knew that like it was gonna hurt him, but like he had to like do it because that's what she
That's what
wanted.
she
like,
wanted,
and it's like if you love somebody, you're gonna do whatever it takes to make that person happy. And that was the last final thing to really make her happy.
Stack wanted to be the vampire.
Do I think Stack wanted to be
So
a vampire?
do you think he did that for? Cause it's like, okay, let's think about it. He killed Annie because she said so. Well, he's a man. He could have. He do what you want. You do what you want. She's dead. You know, we're gonna do. Just he could have left. But he respected her word. What about his brother? I feel like when it comes to the love and the wrong for both parties, it's hard to say which one.
Right.
You know, so it's like he loved his brother, he loved Annie. So do you think he cared? Why?
I see what you mean. So like because he had love for both his partner and for his brother. So why is it only kill off his partner but not his brother if he both loved them? That does make sense.
Why isn't only kill off
Did he
his?
love his brother so much that he respected, like, so?
Well, are you talking about Stack or Smoke right now?
Okay.
Smoke is the one who's not vampire.
Yeah,
not
Smoke
vampire.
is not the vampire.
Yeah. So basically, he didn't kill his brother basically because he loved his brother so much that he respected his opinion.
Like you're saying, just like he respected Annie's opinion, he was gonna respect his brother's opinion.
Yes. Do you think he did that, or just because I love my brother, I want to see him tomorrow? He could have did that too.
Wait, but how did Smoke respect Stack's opinion?
Because he
Because
didn't
he
kill
didn't kill
him.
him. And like
Oh,
Stack was not going
yeah,
for that.
yeah.
Like when he woke up, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not like he was up. Like he was not going for none of that. He knocked the door down. So it's like you knew he didn't want it out.
That is true. I feel like at that certain point, like they didn't have any context of what was really like. Or I'm not saying the context, but they didn't grasp the gravity of the situation at that moment. They didn't understand how intense it was and how like altering it was to their lives and stuff. Like at the time, they was just like, okay, we're just dealing with the hate right now. They didn't even have a name to it right now. They didn't even know if they were vampires for real. It was just like, we're just dealing with the hate right now. We're just dealing with something that's not really, you know, I guess considered human or real or yeah. So I feel like I don't know. Like at that point, there was just so you know what? I generally can't even know because it's like when you just have so much emotions running through you right now. I mean, you just lost your brother, you just shot somebody, and they literally got up and ran out like nothing happened. Like at that point, your mind is blank. Like you really can't even think of anything right now. You're probably just in shock of the situation. So like I feel like everything that he was hearing at that moment was low-key just going through one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't really using his sense. But compared to that moment where, you know. Smoke and Annie. No, you got
But he did try to kill him. He did.
He tried to kill his brother.
Because they so happened to be alive. They were supposed to be dead.
But Stack didn't want to. Okay, I feel like his
You had to do what you had
brother
to do at the end.
would have been dead, but like it just had to happen where he had to make that decision on whether or not to kill him or not. I feel like if it was anybody else, yeah, he would have been dead.
I'm talking about like he didn't like initially directly kill him, but like you know when Remerick and Sammy was in the pond or whatever fighting, and he came through and stabbed him, and then the sun came. Basically, they did it on purpose, trying to time it correctly, and it killed all the vampires.
It did.
So basically, I felt like in that part, him killing Remerick somehow killed everybody else.
It did.
It did. It kind of did because they were all connected in that moment. But that does also leave me like it just questions a little bit because Bremer, like in that moment when they were all like stating that Bible verse and he was like talking, everybody else was talking with him, except the ones that ran away, which was Stack and Mary. So why didn't that work on them? That is my question because I feel like that would kind of answer yours, saying that he killed him.
Unless they really did that purposely for a sequel, because I feel
Probably
like
for the sake of the movie,
I feel like they will make another one because they have more to go on. You know, I thought it was dope at the end of the movie. You got the old man Samuel there, and then they just popped out. Why y'all pop out for it?
That's true because if that part wouldn't, if the movie wouldn't have ended with that little scene, you would have thought that they were dead.
That's true.
Yeah, I thought it was over, but it's like you got this new.
But it has more weight onto the movie because, like, we wouldn't have known that, oh, like, Smoke didn't kill his brother. And it would have, like, it wouldn't have added more weight onto the movie. Like, we would have just thought, okay, like, you know, they all just ended up dead. But, like, us knowing that, okay, they were both still alive, like, I feel like that just, you know, it plays onto the fact that, okay, you know, Smoke having to make that really big decision and why he made that decision and with, you know,
If it was
Stack
up to
and
Smoke,
Mary.
they would have been dead though. I feel like Stack and Mary just got away. It was somewhere hiding out because it was the sun.
but it was promised that they wouldn't hurt Sammy though. So it's like, no, they didn't just get away. It came with the, like, you know,
Yeah, with conditions.
it came with conditions, yeah.
Yeah, no. So when the brother, so that last clip that we're talking about, when Sammy's old and whatnot, and they appear, Stack tells Sammy how they lived on, and it was like, well, I promised to my brother that if I left you alone, that we could leave, we could go away, and so then that's when Mary and him ran away.
What was so special about Sammy too?
Sammy was spiritual. He
Sammy
brought
was-
all of them together.
That is kind of true though, but what was so because he also brought other.
He
musicians
did,
and
yeah.
stuff like
He
that.
brought, like, Sammy just came with, like, I don't know.
I don't
He
know.
just had, like, an aura to
Yeah, I
him,
was
you
gonna
know?
say,
Like,
maybe it was just like his presence, his aura. Because I also feel like if I was in Smoke's position where it's like, I asked my little cousin, like, hey, like, I asked my uncle, I'm like, hey, like, you know, let me take my little cousin out. We're gonna go out and, like, have fun. We're just gonna go out and have fun. And it's like, I'm gonna feel that, like, what is that? I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, I feel heavy if I were to not, if I come home and not return my cousin.
that's
If that
right.
makes
And
sense.
they did promise their uncle in the beginning
Oh,
that
yeah,
we're
they're
going to
like-
bring him back
they're
in
like, we're
one
gonna bring
piece.
him back
And
in
he
one
did come back in one
That's right.
piece. So,
So, yeah, so I can understand. But
he came back.
It's
yeah.
also because they saw him again, it kind of as they're young, like, because he was what, like, almost the youngest one
yeah,
there?
he was.
He was, because everybody else,
He was
they
still
were
grown,
adults.
but, like, yeah.
So it's like, I feel like Smoke saw him as, like, you know, like, you still have your whole life ahead of you. Like, we're old. We've lived life, but you're just starting, especially with him, like, singing and being so talented.
Yeah.
I feel like he saw so much potential in him, where he was like, you know
Never
what, you
worked
deserve
out.
to live.
Because
It was
he had-
anointed low key.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he was because he had his own little thing at the end.
yeah. He had, like, everybody saw it. Like, literally, his dad saw it in the beginning, which is why he told him not to, like, you know, go out and, you know, do music and stuff. The brothers saw it. Remrick saw it. Everybody felt that spirit, that, like, you know, how strong of a, like, person he was just by his voice and his talent alone.
Yeah.
And how it united so many people and brought so many people together, but how it also attracted evil as well. Because it even said in the beginning of the movie, like, some people have this, you know, talent where they can, you know, bring so many people together, but that, you know, bringing people together also brings evil and stuff. So, like,
And that's why, in a way, I felt like it was Samuel's fault. That Remy came around.
and he did blame himself in the movie because
Because
it was
it's
like,
like-
it's my fault, like, it's not my fault. Oh,
This
poor
in a
thing.
way, you just too good. Too
No,
good.
for real, like,
Yeah.
he was just too good, bro. But it's like, he didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, who would have, like, if somebody
No
would have came
one
to him and be
knows.
like, oh, yeah, y'all finna get haunted by vampires, I would have been like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? But he didn't know. He genuinely just wanted to play and be with his cousins and be free for one night, like they said. Like, everybody was free for one night. They could escape work, they could escape all their responsibilities, their debts, their duties, just to be able to be free for one night. And that's all they wanted, just freedom.
Yeah, and it also goes back to that last scene where Sam even states, he's like, you know, like, from this entire, like, from my whole time living, it was like, that probably was the best
The
night
best
of
day of his
the
life,
best day of his
yeah.
life. And it's like, even though so much happened, it was very tragic, but he still considered that one of the best days of his life. Just because of, like, the ambient, everything that was going on before the vampires arrived.
Like, they genuinely it just felt good for them, really, and it felt good for me too, as like the audience being able to see that and seeing that like play out, And like even when like in the end of the movie when they were doing like flashbacks to when they were like setting up the juke
Oh,
joint
yeah.
and all working together and stuff, like I feel like it's just so tragic to see that like happen for them. Like dang, like they didn't see any of this coming. None of them knew that, oh yeah, like this was gonna happen. So like for them to like just have like, I don't know, just like for that to happen to them is just tragic. And even like with like, you know, when Stack was like, well yeah, like last time I seen my brother was the last time I seen the son, like, you know, he's gonna lose his brother that day. Like I feel like he's probably still very heartbroken over that too, because like his brother is gone. His brother is gone, his cousin is gone, literally everything he ever knew was gone. And now he has to adjust to a whole new world filled with darkness and hate. And it's like he still has the love of his life with him, but it's like he has to sacrifice that for like so many other things. So like,
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And the only way, I wonder if the vampires go where they go.
they go where they go.
Like, where any of them go.
No,
I mean, that's a shame.
he said, and he said it in the movie. He was like, she was like, with vampires, like once they turn, like their soul is literally trapped on Earth. So like they can't join with their ancestors. They can't, you know, reunite with the people that they had before. Like they're just stuck on Earth with, you know, negativity and, you know, hate and all that.
That sucks. That really does suck.
They're literally immortal forever. Like
Until somebody kills them.
until somebody kills them. So, you know, but like we'll know how that goes. Do y'all think there should be a second movie, or I think y'all should like they should make there
Yeah, newer age.
newer age?
Yeah.
Newer age? I don't know.
Like some Blade.
But what would the second movie be about?
It would be like,
It'd have to be some new people, I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
don't think I could see it with them.
it'd be like
Yeah.
something like Blade, and now society got too many.
No.
I was like, there
Like,
girl.
the conversation is so good.
Oh, yeah.
No. Well, I don't know what the second movie would be about.
The society is like now getting along. Now some other demonic stuff going on.
I was like, yeah.
Cause like modern vampires.
Modern day, yeah.
But I don't really know if it would be any better.
I feel like the movie is just too good for it to be a second. Like,
Me
if it
too.
was,
I
it would
feel
decrease the
like-
value of the first movie. Like,
I just feel like it was a really. I feel like it was a really good ending
it was.
because there was like closure for everything.
There was.
There was closure for everything, and it's like nothing really left you hanging. You know, and in a way, there was a happy ending.
No, it's not.
What do you
Because
what?
it won't closure. Sammy lost his girl.
Well, no, yeah.
Sammy did this, girl.
But,
But I
like-
mean, he like. I
And
mean, he
he
named
just-
his
he looked
thing
sad.
after Perline, though.
Who?
He named his
Mhm.
what was it? His where he performed. He named it
But-
after her.
but exactly. Why would you do that if you ain't but her? Like, just think about it. Like all those years.
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's bound to happen. Like that's just life at that point.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Maybe
it-
maybe
it's
the way she
nobody.
died. Maybe the way she died. Like no one should die to a vampire. I mean that does
For
suck.
real.
So what if he didn't like marry nobody or deal with nobody after that?
I don't think you can after being
That's sad.
traumatized.
That's
It is
not
very
happening.
sad, and poor Sammy for that, for real.
He was
Like,
literally sitting at a bar like this.
yeah,
But I mean, at least he went on with his music.
he did.
That's all
Something
he
else
had.
that he loved though.
That's true, and
That's
he
all he
did.
had.
That's all he ever wanted. Like he always said, even before that happened, he told his he told Stack and Smoke and even his dad that like I'm gonna get out of here. Like I'm not gonna stay
Yeah.
here forever. Like I'm gonna go pursue music regardless
But
if I like it or not.
Also with Perline, that was her name, right?
Yeah,
Perline.
Perline, mhm.
With Perline, he met her that same day.
That is true.
First, second, she was married. So it's like, what makes you think that she's? But that goes on
Because
to a
in
deeper
my
level.
sense, I
'cause-
felt like Sammy, in my sense, I felt like he was a little bit square. So he's a church boy,
Mhm.
and that's what he knows. His father's a preacher, so he's probably not experiencing that. So it's like for him, that was like the first time. Oh my
For
God!
everything,
and then
mind
he lost
blown.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I can understand that, but it could have also, like again, saved him from like maybe like having like an unfaithful relationship. Because again, if she was okay with going to find someone else while being married, like if she was okay with sleeping with someone else while being married, what does that say about her being with him now?
Mhm.
So it's like
I
did
could've
he
gotten
really
killed,
did
too,
he really
like-
lose? I mean, no, because again, he kind of lost that like a very youthful love at first sight kind of partner. But that wasn't someone he was with for years. That wasn't someone he talked to like on a deeper level. Like she was there, she supported him that night.
And I know this is on camera, but you see how that made him the Lulu, and he named his whole club.
I mean, he did. That did make him, a little delusional. But
Yeah.
like, that was as far as everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
like, he
very
was like
honest.
on cloud nine.
So
Like,
that's like, to him, like to a regular person that knows what a relationship is, that's what that is to him.
that's true. That is like
Yeah.
the love of his life in a way.
Yeah.
Like, because I doubt he pursued anybody else after that. I mean, you done named your whole company after the girl that you met that one night. Like,
No.
honestly, like genuinely, you can't even like really fathom it. And I feel like Perlene, I feel like she cared about him in a way too, because like she also sacrificed herself, kind of like basically what was that in the scene? I forgot exactly what happened, but I think like she had pushed like Sammy out of the way for the vampire to come to her instead of Sammy, because Sammy was about to get bit, and then she pushed Sammy out the way, and then Sammy got bit by. I mean,
And I'm
Perlene
just
got
saying,
bit by the vampire.
She had to do something
She
because
did.
you had to sacrifice something because you a cheater. So
Yeah.
you owe somebody something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the movie is generally just beautiful. Like, I feel like it's just such it's like an onion movie. Like, it just has so many like layers to it. So many like,
It's so crazy. We probably gonna watch it again.
I know I'm definitely gonna watch it again. I don't care. Like, that movie is great. Like, genuinely, that's a movie that like I genuinely like was satisfied with the end result. Like, I was like, wow, like that was amazing. That was great. Genuinely, just so much significance. Like, literally, it touches on so many different topics, so many different issues, conflicts, like, but it also like it's a great movie to show like unison and community and like working together and spirituality. Like, there's so many different
Yeah.
I don't know what I was about to say. Well, this concludes our
discussion.
Thanks for listening and tuning in.
Bye.